Hello everyone, Saida here. I hope you're all doing well. I wanted to come on, make a video, and talk about something that has been on my mind for a while. And something happened recently that really triggered me to just put aside some time to make this video. And it's the topic of psychic entertainment, okay? And I feel like this is a really important topic, not just for people like myself that are psychic intuitives, healers, readers, mediums, but also for people that are interested in getting a reading or even becoming a reader themselves. Okay, so this was really triggered by a request that I received for doing a party, a party where I would give readings. And the person asked me to dress authentically. And I was like, what does that mean exactly? Like, what does it mean to dress authentically as a reader? Am I supposed to wear a turban? Am I supposed to wear like a dark purple cloak? Like, what does that mean to dress authentically? And maybe in their mind, that's what that means. That if someone is a reader, they're supposed to look like a psychic from like back in the day, or look like someone who's a Romani or something like that. But I'm an average regular girl. Well, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know how I would describe myself, but I'm a human being. We'll say that, okay? I'm a human being. I'm a normal person. I eat, I sleep. I do all the things that a normal human being does. So why wouldn't I just be able to dress nicely, or dress in a way that is, I don't want to just say presentable, but dress up, I can dress up. So that was something I was like, okay, yeah, I really need to get on YouTube and talk about this, because it's something that I've seen working in doing spiritual work for a few years now. It's something that I'm still seeing, is that for a lot of people, it seems like people that are psychics, intuitives, are seen as being entertainers. And part of it is because, I feel like because we have to state, according to New York State law, wherever state you're from, these readings are for entertainment purposes only, but that's for legal purposes. It doesn't necessarily mean that the reading is not authentic. It doesn't mean that the reading is not accurate. I actually had a client get scared because they were like, so, because you put that disclaimer, does that mean that the reading is inaccurate? And I told her no. It's just recommended that people that do this work state that the readings are for entertainment purposes only, to avoid any kind of legal action taken against them based on something that they said. So, I feel like that's part of it. So maybe when people see that, they don't understand that it's a legal thing. It's not necessarily that the readings are just entertainment. Now, granted, I will say that maybe for some people, doing readings is like a form of entertainment for them. Maybe they don't take it seriously. But for people like myself, that have had to give up a lot to be able to do this work, to be able to accept ourselves, to be able to do whatever it takes to be a clear vessel for messages from spirit, from the higher realms, this work is anything but entertainment. Okay? It's something that I personally take very seriously. Okay? It's something that I feel like people that are doing this work authentically, it's such a commitment. There's such a commitment that needs to be made when you're doing this work. And those that are watching that are readers and they're into this authentically know what I'm talking about. Because if something comes up for us that is unpleasant, something whether it be from the past or something that we've been suppressing emotionally, we have to deal with that, okay? And that's not easy. Most of the people in the world probably don't do that, okay? And it's something that we as psychics and readers, intuitives, I really don't like using the word psychic, but I'm going to use it for those that are watching and need like a reference point. So for people that are psychics, healers, intuitives, it's something that we need to do. Because if we start to suppress things and we stuff things down and we're not honest with ourselves, and we start manipulating the energy, we stifle the channels that we need to be able to do this work. So in order for us to have clear messages from spirit, we need to be honest with ourselves, okay? And we need to honor everything that comes up, because a big part of receiving messages from spirit is that it comes through the body, it comes through our senses. And if we're ignoring our senses when something comes up, that throws everything off. So, in order for you to be able to do this work clearly, you have to honor everything, even if it's something that you don't like. Okay? So, the people out there that do this work authentically know what I mean. It's a big commitment. It's a commitment to ourselves. We have to love ourselves unconditionally, and that is through self-care, through eating right, through listening to our body, through setting boundaries, and sometimes learning to do that isn't easy. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be able to do this work, and to do it in the best way possible, so that the people that work with us benefit from it the most. Okay? And I just want to tell you guys something else that happened to me, but this was years ago. But it's something that I remembered that also prompted me to make this video. So I was doing a consultation for someone, and before I start the consultations, I let them know that, I'm connecting to their energy, and I'm connecting to the energy of spirit, and connecting to my spirit guides, their spirit guides, and receiving information for them. And sometimes I'll see their aura, but I'll get like a sense of it. I'll feel it, and I'll see it within my third eye. So my client was like, oh, so can you see my aura right now? Can you see like all the colors? And like, she wanted to know if I could see her aura physically. And I told her, no, not right now. It's something that happens sometimes, but it doesn't happen all the time. And quite frankly, at this point, I can't really control how I see the aura. It just happens the way that it needs to happen. And she was disappointed. She was always like, oh, okay. So it was almost like she was expecting so much from me. She was expecting kind of like a show. And I was reflecting on that recently. I'm like, wow. It seems like some people really see psychic readings as being entertainment. It's kind of like when you go to a circus and you see different acts. It's almost like the psychic is part of the act. When you go to like a spiritual shop and the spiritual shop has a reader, psychic, and you go get a reading, it's like, depending on the person, it seems like some people are expecting to get entertained. So it's like, wow, show me what you can do. Can you see the aura? Can you see into my future? Do you have a crystal ball? Can you read my palm? Can you see how many children I'm going to have? And the question that I feel like people really need to ask themselves is like, what do you gain from having that information? And what do you gain from you knowing that I can give you that information? Are you really coming to get a reading to gain insight into yourself and what's going to help you? Or are you coming to get entertained? Are you coming to see a show? Are you coming to just be impressed by what the human can do? It's interesting. It's an interesting topic. So that's the question that I'm going to ask those that are watching that are interested in either getting a reading or becoming a reader, is what is your intention? Let's start with if you want to get a reading. When you go into a reading, what is it that you're looking to gain information on, and why? Why is it important to know? A lot of times when people come in to get readings, I notice a lot of times, well, actually not anymore because I set boundaries on that, but I noticed in the past that people want a lot of predictive information. When's this going to happen? What's going to happen? Who's this? Who's that? When are they coming? Blah, blah, blah. And my thing is, it's like, after a while, I was reflecting, and I was like, how is that helpful? How is knowing that helpful? How is knowing what's going to happen in the future helpful? I guess it depends on what it is. Depending on what it is, it can be helpful. But most of the time, the things that people want to know, it really does not benefit them. If anything, it gives a sense of reassurance that, okay, so this is coming and I can feel at peace now. But the thing is with predictions is that they're not set in stone. Okay, I do feel like there are certain things that are meant to happen, right? But I feel like depending on the amount of free will influence that you have, you can shift your direction and you can change the outcome depending on what it is. There's a lot of factors to consider. Okay? So it's like you have to ask yourself, like, what if you're going to get a reading, what is it that you really want to know and why do you want to know that? Okay? I feel like at this point in my life, when it comes to doing intuitive consultations, I don't want to focus so much on predictive work. It's something that happens sometimes. It comes up when I do sessions for people, but it's not something that I want to focus on. And I let my clients know that from the very beginning. You know, sometimes predictions will come up, but it's not the focal point. The point of doing these consultations with me is to gain a stronger sense of self-awareness. What is going on with you? What's going on a deeper level that you can have an awareness of that may be causing a bit of a blockage, or maybe causing things to slow down, or maybe causing some confusion, so you can make clearer choices and decisions for yourself. And also, sometimes when you receive that insight, it confirms what you've already been feeling, so then you can go ahead and make that decision that you've already felt like is the right decision for you. So for me, that is the point of my consultations. It's to help people gain insight on what's going on personally, internally, what's causing issues, what can help make things better, and it's very empowering because you are at the driver's seat. It's not just someone telling you, well, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and you have no control, okay? So that's the point of my readings and consultations, okay? And for someone who wants to become a reader, you also have to ask yourself, what is my intention for becoming a reader? Do I want to just have all these abilities and be able to entertain others? That's something that you have to consider, because sometimes I feel like people get into increasing their psychic abilities because they want to be able to have powers, okay? And I don't really like to call them powers. I feel like they're abilities. They're things that can be cultivated over time, okay? And depending on what someone is meant to do in this lifetime, it can skyrocket or it can just stay very personal, okay? It really depends on the person. But I feel like people get into this field because they want to have powers. They want to be able to see things. They want to be able to know things because it makes them feel more powerful. And it really strokes the ego. It really strokes the ego. And this isn't everybody, but some people feel powerful when they're able to do things like that. But here's the catch, all right? Don't think that you're going to open up your abilities and not see the truth about yourself. This is another big thing that a lot of people that do intuitive work and spiritual work have to deal with, is that you have to see the truth about yourself first, okay? So a lot is going to come up to the surface for the person who is expanding and growing and ascending or whatever. And it's something that in order for you to continue to expand, you have to accept it, you have to feel it, you have to heal it, you have to integrate it. Okay, so some people, want to open up the third eye because they want to be able to astral travel and they want to see all this stuff. And again, they want to be entertained, they want to show, they want to trip. But I feel like it's like a thing where you expect, that's what you expect, but then what you get hit with, it's like, it's too much. And then you back out of it because you didn't expect to see the truth about things that you really didn't want to know about yourself. Okay, the shadowy aspects that you tried to stuff down and repress, all that comes up to the surface when you open up your abilities. It's not something that you can escape. Only way you can escape is, you avoid it. You try to avoid it. But for people that are really intuitive and really sensitive, that can prove to be even worse than accepting it and healing what comes up. The resistance after a while gets so unbearable that after a while you're like, okay, let's just deal with this because I don't want to have to deal with the horrible feelings that come with resisting. You know, the depression, the anxiety, the lack of balance, and the lack of peace. You know, so before you try to get into doing readings and consultations and things, keep that in mind. You know, that you have to be committed to this. It's a path. It's a path. It's not something that's a game. You know, it's not something that's entertainment. You know, I feel like it's something that is for those that are ready to invest in themselves. Okay? So it's, although people have to say that do this work, they have to say, okay, this is for entertainment purposes, it is far beyond entertainment. Okay? So if you see someone like me, or you see someone that's like me, that is committed and authentic in their work, it's not going to be entertainment, even though we have to say that. To protect ourselves, that's all it's really for. It's so we're protected. But what is revealed in a session is far beyond entertainment. Okay? So, I don't know. That's just something that I needed to get out. It was bothering me after a while, so I just needed to get it out and express it and talk about it. Because I feel like it's really important for people to know. People that are interested in spiritual work or metaphysical stuff, it's important to have that in the back of your mind. I want to see if there's anything else I want to share before I cut the video. I don't think so. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. You know. So I hope you all gained some insight from this, and this has helped you understand, or I don't know, you don't have to understand anything. I'm just voicing my opinion, so you could take it or leave it. You know, you take from it what you can get, and if not, that's fine too. I'm just expressing myself, and, you know, hopefully gives you some insight, you know, another perspective. Alright, so I'm going to be posting another video soon, so be on the lookout for that, and I send you so much love. Take care.